What was that point where you went from I'm going to bootstrap until, okay, I'm going to give up some portion of the company and try to raise capital?
Yeah. So, first I don't think that it's as binary as a lot of people make it of what's the right and wrong way to build a business. Is it bootstrap versus funded? As someone who's built a bootstrap business, I'll tell you, flexibility bootstrapping a business, it's hard. But there's also pros and cons that come with heavy funding as well. So for us, my general concept around funding for startups is that I think in today's world, you should be able to build, minimal viable products. You should be able to test out theses and really find some product market fit on a shoestring budget and do it bootstrap. And once you start seeing traction and you're growing, okay, cool. Now you can go raise some capital to dump some gasoline on the fire. So for us, if you look at our revenue growth, 2019, we did $0 in revenue. 2020, we did 100,000 in revenue. 2021, we did 650,000. And last year we did 1.7 million. And this year we'll probably do 3 million. And this year we'll also hit profitability as well. And so when we first raised capital, it was in that first $500,000 chunk was in, I think, the third quarter of 2021. And for us, we saw, hey, look, we are having traction on our smaller events, our content's growing. But at that point, we didn't have the bandwidth of being able to take all of our inbound sales calls. So we knew that we were leaving money on the table for advertising and things of that nature. And we needed to start making some real hires. And it's extremely hard to build a team when you're bootstrapped and growing within cash flow. One, because the wrong hire can kill you. Two, because it's hard to know when to pull those triggers, because every hire that you make, it's like, man, we don't have a lot of money, but this person can really help us become more efficient and generate more revenue. But it's like you're taking a bet on every single hire. And so for us, it was like, hey, look, we think that we have some tailwinds. We think that we have traction and we have a solid thesis that we're executing on. Now we just need some resources to go execute on that. And so I don't think that there's there's never a perfect time of when you should raise capital. And you'll hear, man, there's so much advice out there on the internet. It's like, don't sell any equity, don't raise any capital. And I honestly probably won't ever bootstrap a business again, unless it's just hopefully someday I'm super wealthy and, I can just put my own money into my businesses. But just starting off with nothing, I probably won't do that. But on the flip side, I think that you've seen this in the tech industry. I don't think you have seen it in the tech industry, is going out and raising $50 million rounds before you even have product market fit, and deploying all your capital in increasing your headcount and getting bloat in your G&A wasn't a sustainable business model. And that's why you're seeing the tech industry just absolutely get crushed, because that's what it was for the last 5 to 8 years. And so I think that, it really just takes a lot of nuance and understanding of where you want to take the business, and also what the end goal is to, do you think that what you're working on, if it's a tech startup, I think that you need to be realistic with what the market cap, what the ceiling is. I look at, some of you guys may know Task. They're an oil and gas startup. Like, I love the way that those guys think about building their business, because when I talked to them in the early days, they're like, yeah, hey, we think this is a $30 to $50 million play here. And so we're not going to go raise, $10 million rounds of VC, because we just don't have venture scale. And I really appreciated that about them, that they just had some realistic expectations of what they were actually building, and were able to plan their financing strategy according to that.